Alright guys, good morning. Currently have an issue with this escape. It's a 2018 with the 2-liter EcoBoost. The dreaded P1450, which is unable to bleed vacuum from the fuel tank. The culprit is definitely the purge valve, which is a nightmare to get to, but I will walk you through it and show you how to fix this issue. The part number you're going to need is this right here. All right, and this is the component that's failed. It's actually just this piece here. That's going to be the purge valve itself. That's what's failed, but unfortunately Ford has fused everything together. There are no clamps, anything like that. You can't just pull this off, so they force you to replace this entire thing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just remove this engine cover here by just pulling up. There's 4 tabs underneath it, and just pull straight up and it'll come right out. All right, now that that's off, you can get definitely a better visual of what needs to be replaced. Not that that's helped out a huge amount, but so you can see that these components here, all the way down in here, just an absolute nightmare to get to. It's difficult to see, and then essentially follows this down, and it's difficult to tell, but the part that's failed is back there. So all of this needs to be removed. We're going to start by removing the top of the AIRBOX here with 8mm little screws here. There's 1, 2, there's one hidden back here, and then the final one is right now. If that's off, just grab the air filter, lift up, and pull it out. That is extremely easy. Alright, and the next thing I want to do is pull this out, and then this wire's kind of held in here. Pull that out, and then pull this wire off of this, because this is part of the component we're replacing. Now that this is all disconnected here, on the back of this clamp for the air intake, hard to tell, but there is a flat head back there. Just undo that, and this whole component will come off of this intake tube, and you can lift up on the AIRBOX. It's not bolted down, it just sits in kind of some rubber bushing. Get back there. This is just the cover for the battery. It just sort of sits on top of it. Just pull it off. You can actually access it a little bit easier. Just so you have a little more room to work it here. The last step is these kind of quote unquote cold air tubes, so you get a little bit fresher air. So there's a tab here, you just pull up. This sort of seals these 2 tubes going into this component, which has sort of an air vent and a grill here. Cool, so there's that piece there. And now we can just lift this entire thing out of here. All right, I didn't know you could actually put the light on the phone and video at the same time, so now you can see a little bit better. This is the component that's failed. That's going to be the purge valve. It is currently stuck open and will not let the vacuum bleed from the fuel tank, which is going to cause that P1450 code on newer Ford vehicles 99% of the time. So the next step is that hose back there that has that green clip. That needs to come off. The way the clip is on these, it's the same kind of on all of them. You just need to lift up here and on the other side, and it just slides off. And then, just so I can show you here, once you pull one of these green clips off, I've already done it up here. There's a white separate clip that when you push in, the teeth kind of go up like that. So as soon as you get back there and you pull that green tab off, the next step is to just push that white clip in, just in like that, and then just pull straight off. Now that that's off, we need to remove the actual connector here, because this is going to come off momentarily here. All right, so this is the component that we just removed from the back part of the engine bay, and then the next part is going to be undoing the solenoid from this bracket here. Now this bracket you do not have to replace, it's just in place to hold the actual solenoid or the valve in place with this rubber piece. It just slides over that bracket, so you can actually just grab it and just pull the whole thing on. All right, as you can see, you can sort of see that bracket there. It's kind of held on by those 2 nuts, and then you can see the rubber piece on the back side of this. It actually just slides on. So all you gotta do is just pull it straight off, and then we are completely disconnected back here entirely. All right, now the next step, you can really do this in any order, is just start undoing these off of everything. So you have one here, then you have 2 down here. One is very easy to get to. The other one is not so easy to get to. It's going to be that other green one down there. Take your time. Just remember, pull kind of the green clip apart. So you sort of you don't want to pull it in. It's going to be more of an issue of spreading those apart like that. And then grabbing that white clip and then pushing in so those teeth separate there, and then pulling just straight off. Just like that, nice and easy on all of them. All right, so those two are together. You can cut this zip tie, I don't really feel like you have to. This is held on by just a little clip bracket. That's very easy to just undo real quick. And then the majority of it is already disconnected. So let's get down here and do these two. You can see there's a zip tie there. Come on, focus. There's a zip tie there, and there's another clip sort of here that holds this on. You can just undo all these. All right, so I got those two off. There will definitely be some pain involved, but it is totally doable. Now that all this is disconnected, it's just a matter of pulling this whole assembly off of the top of the engine. And that is the piece that we are more or less interested in. Obviously that's the component that has failed. However, because absolutely everything is fused together and there's no clamps or anything, Ford considers this all one single part number. I'll include it in the description below. All right, so we have the old component here and the new component here. It's identical in every single way. It's just a matter of putting it all back together at this point. We have our new component over near the engine bay. Just sort of lay it in place here, and then it's like I said, literally it's just a matter of putting it sort of back together here. You can easily start with the top here, so you can get a feel for how the new, well not new, but the same sort of connectors sort of attach on there, and then the other steps will be much easier. That way you're not working in the blind. All right, so just to show you, so this one's extremely easy. This is a different clip than the rest of them. So this one here, all you're gonna do is push it on so you sort of feel some resistance, and then it slides on easy, and then lift up on the bottom, and then that locks into place. Now this connector is the same as the other three. So you're essentially gonna push it on that kind of ridge there, and then you're gonna push in that white clip, because that's what's gonna lock it into place, and then boom, the green secures it. That's gonna be the same for these two connectors down here and the one back there. Now that's all done, it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt clip here. It looks exactly like this in every single way. So what you're gonna do is there's this same kind of ridge right underneath here, and you're just gonna take that and you're just gonna force it up pretty hard, and it will just lock into place. That way everything here kind of stays tight and the vibrations don't damage or move this harness anyway. And then in the back, you can see the kind of shiny bit. That's where that back connector needs to go onto. So let's get that done real quick. All right, kind of hard to tell, but you can see we got our new component back there. Now the next step is to grab this, and you can kind of see it's just gonna go right on that bracket, and this prevents, it just kind of holds everything into place, just like that. We'll redo everything we just undid. So this is gonna be the connector that goes onto the new component. I always label everything with kind of a blue tape. I did this one for the sensor on the intake. That way I don't end up missing anything by accident. So just a matter of putting this all back together. All right, the next part is to just kind of put this whole AIRBOX unit back together, and then we're gonna get that plugged. We got that all back on. That screw there is tightened up for the clamp. That goes onto this piece here. AIRBOX is in place. This is put on. Now we're gonna grab this kind of weird tube, and this is that last part as part of the, I don't even know what to call it, a cold air, fresh air, whatever Ford thought was a good idea. But that is gonna go back. And just pop the air filter back on. There's a little tab at the bottom of the air filter. Just line it up, otherwise you'll be forcing it and have a nightmare. And it just sort of fits in that little valley there. So it's really nice, it's secure, it's no way it's coming out. And we're just gonna grab, where's that part? There it is. And we're just gonna grab this and pop that on, and then we are almost done. All right, now that that's secure, we pop the battery cover back on. And then finally our last step is to put the engine cover back You can leave this off and start the engine to check your work if you'd like. However, I'm very confident that everything is good to go here. All right, folks, and that's it. We're all done. There is one more step we need to proceed with. You can see the check engine light is still on. I wanted to run it a little bit out of gas so I can see if I still have the same issue with a rough idle and a rough start after filling up. So this should completely cure that problem. So the next thing is we want to get rid of that check engine light, because if it comes back on, then we're in kind of the same boat of having to track down a different problem. 99% of the time on newer Fords, this is going to be it. However, not every single case is the same. So you can either go to, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, whatever. Maybe have them read the code and clear it if they'll let you. Sometimes they won't, sometimes they will. Just get it cleared. Dealership, they will probably charge you money. If they don't, great. If they do, whatever. Or you can just buy a little diagnostic scan tool. I actually have an SCT X4 that I used off of a old Focus ST that I had. It was a really fun car. And just to kind of show you guys here, you can see clearly that is the code P1450. That's going to be the unable to bleed vacuum from the tank. That can cause issues such as imploding fuel tanks is one of the biggest ones. The other one is extremely poor fuel economy and a very harsh, very raw gas smell out of the exhaust. So for now, since this is all done, for now we're going to exit. We're going to clear this code, and she is gone. Let's go fill up, and after this we will report back. All right, just finished filling up here.
I would not be surprised if they use
full tank. Oh, very smooth start. Oh, no jittering. Oh, that's just infinitely better. That's insane, the difference. All right, well, hopefully that was the problem. I'll report back here, and well, I won't make a new video unless something else is wrong, but what I'll do is I'll make a kind of like a little pop-up on the screen on the video if we are trouble-free, but that is a remarkably smooth idle. Hasn't been that smooth in a very long time, so this is probably a issue that's built up over time, and finally kick the check engine light on. Awesome. If you guys have any questions, just post in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm out. Thank you.